Anzac situation. And I think there were so many commonalities between the three countries. New Zealand and Australia were very new countries, and Turkey was not yet a country, but emerging and finding their own sense of identity. A number of militaries coming together, not on the same sides, trying to do what they felt was right to protect their land and their belief system. And so if you look at the whole thing, the ethos that has come to be the Anzac celebration, it's really quite remarkable that after 95 years for us of celebrating something that happened 96 years ago, it has the same tenor, it has the same feeling that it had in the beginning, and that is that people came together in New Zealand and in Australia. It's a very similar ceremony in every square. There is a parade, and there is the same ceremony to honor people who have died, not only at Gallipoli, but in all the wars that they have fought in. Of course, New Zealand being a really new country in and of itself, it was a seminal moment because they didn't think of themselves as a country. They didn't think of themselves as New Zealanders. And I went back and tried to look at some diaries and some speeches of past times to try and get a better sense of why this was such an important thing. And what you found was that in many ways the acts of courage and the bravery that happened came at such a terrible price that it forced everyone to appreciate who they are. And as former Prime Minister Helen Clark said, it scarred our hearts to see this happen. But it stirred within people a new sense of national identity. It is said that the troops left home as colonial soldiers in the service of the empire, but they returned home as New Zealanders. Scholars have tried to figure out the importance of why this has touched such a chord. And I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what the statistics are or how many people died or how difficult it was. What matters is that, as Nana was saying, this war to end all wars in many ways was just the beginning of a terrible series of events where countries needed to come together and work together. In many ways, they say World War I was the end of the Age of Innocence, and I think that's certainly true when you look at some of the footage of the soldiers leaving and getting on ships. And I was amazed that, for many of the New Zealanders, they were farm boys. They had never left even their regions in New Zealand. They'd never seen Australians before they landed to pick up the rest of the ships to go on to Egypt to fight. So it was just a beginning of a whole new world for them. And I think that we all understand more now that war is not the means to the end. I think it is a difficult thing that people have tried to make this war be something that finishes something. It just really cannot be that way. I was also really very touched with rereading the speech of Ataturk. And last year, I think all three of us quoted it, so I will refrain. But I think the concept of telling the mothers and wives that their sons and their husbands now are ours too, I think is just a remarkable show of leadership and sensitivity on his part, and we celebrate that. I hope that each of you will come to our celebration in Bear Creek Park on the Sunday before the 24th. What you will see is the same ceremony that is done everywhere around the world where there are Australians and New Zealanders. And it starts with a dedication, which I will read, and hopefully you will hear it when you get there. And it goes like, "At this hour on this day, Anzac received its baptism of fire and became one of the immortal names in history. We who are gathered here think of the comrades who went out with us to battle but did not return. We feel them still near in spirit. We wish to be worthy of their great sacrifice. Let us, therefore, once again dedicate ourselves to the service of the ideals for which they died. As the dawn is even now about to pierce the night, so let their memory inspire us to work for the coming of the new light into the dark places of the world." And then there is a part of a poem that is always read, and it says, "They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them." Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. And I would like to thank all three councils for their warm and very enlightening remarks. I'm sure all of us would love to go to Anzac Day ceremonies. And I will make a note that we will change the speech order next year. I think it's unfair for you. Right now we would like to show you a video that was edited by Altu, our technical director over there. Actually, by the way, I forgot to mention early in the program, we are broadcasting this event on the internet, so worldwide. I'm not so sure how much audience we have over there, but Altu is pretty adamant that this reaches to as many people as possible, and anybody who would like to be part of this event can be. Right now, we would like to show you a video, and this video is really edited out of a movie by Tolga Örnek, by the name of Gelibolu. And the movie is available both in English as well as in Turkish. And we also did a good job. I hope you will agree with that we would like to really give you a personal aspect, a more personal face of the tragedy.